In this video, we're going to do section 4.5, multiplication of polynomials. So part 1 is multiply a monomial by a monomial. So multiply. We did this sort of in earlier parts of chapter 4, but we have 4x squared times 3x to the 5th. So we have to multiply the 4 times the 3 to get 12. And then remember, our exponent rules say that for multiplying like this, we need to multiply the 4 and the 3 and then add the exponents for the x's. So we have 12x to the 7. Simple as that. Alright, same thing for b. 6a to the 3rd times negative 5a to the 4th. So 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Then we add the exponents on the a. So a to 3 plus 4. So our final answer is negative 30a to the 7th. Alright, so I hope that all of you are enjoying this. We're going to move on to... oh no. Alright, let's move on to... where is it? What did we do? Alright, we did B, so let's move on to C. So we have negative 3m times negative 7m to the 5th. So negative 3 times negative 7 is a positive 21. Then this, remember, is just m to the 1st. So this is going to end up being m to the 1 plus 5, or m to the 6. So our final answer is 21m to the 6. Alright, so they're going to get a little bit harder in D, but only because we're mixing multiple variables together. So we have an 8 and a 2, so 8 times 2 is 16. Then let's look at the x's. Again, we have x to the 2 plus 4. Then let's look at the y's, 3 and a 1 again, so 3 plus 1. And then z to the 1 plus 3. So our final answer is 16, x to the 6, y to the 4th, z to the 4th. Alright, so all of these should have been sort of review. We're going to try to do harder ones now, because I know that's what all of you are excited about. Alright, so let's look. You can try some of these harder ones on your own. But 2, multiply a polynomial by a polynomial by a monomial. Alright, so this is just going to be basic distributing. So you learned the distributive property before. We're just going to expand it a little bit here. So we have 3x to the 4th times 9x squared minus 7x plus... is that minus 7x or just minus x? Minus x plus 7. So we have 3x to the 4th times 9x squared first. So that is 3 times 9, 27. And then x to the 4 plus 2. So that gives me 27x to the 6. Now I have 3x to the 4th times that negative x. So that will give me a negative 3x to the 4 plus 1. Because that was a 1 exponent right here, so that's minus 3x to the 5th. Alright, that's a 1 exponent right there. Then we have plus 3x to the 4th times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21, so that's 21x to the 4th. And kaboom! That's it. So hopefully this is all making sense to distribute. We're going to practice a couple more times before getting to the really difficult ones though. So let's distribute here as well. So we have negative 4y to the 3rd times 2y to the 3rd. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And we have y to the 3 plus 3. So that's negative 8y to the 6. Then we have minus 4y to the 3rd times 13y squared. So 4 times 13 is 52, so minus 52y to the 3 plus 2, or minus 52y to the 5th. Then we have minus 4y cubed times negative y, so negative 4 times another negative is a positive 4y to the 3 plus 1, or that's plus 4y to the 4th. Cha-ching! Alright, I hope that all of you are really understanding this. Again, if you're not, please feel free to email me or bring your questions to the next class. again, just make sure that you are understanding these as much as you possibly can. Let's try C. Let's distribute again. Sorry. So we have 3a to the 4th b times a squared b. So that will give me 3a to the 4 plus 2b to the 1 plus 1, or 3a to the 6b to the 2nd. Then 3a to the 4th b times the negative 3ab. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. A to the 4 plus 1, b to the 1 plus 1. So minus 9a to the 5th, b to the 2nd. Then plus 3a to the 4th b times the 2b squared now. So 3 times 2 is 6. A is still to the 4th, and b is to the 1 plus 2. So that's 6a to the 4th, b to the 3rd. Cha-ching! Alright, so again, these were still multiplying a polynomial by a monomial, or a one-term polynomial by something that had more than one term. Alright, let's move on to the next page. Multiply binomials using the distributive property. Alright, now there are multiple ways to multiply binomials, but one of the ways is the distributive property. So that's what I'm going to show you first. Alright, so I'm going to distribute this x plus 2 to each of the terms in the second set of parentheses. So I have the x right here times the x plus 2, and then I have the minus 5 right here times the x plus 2. So I'm just distributing. Then I'm going to distribute the x again and the 5 here. So I have x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 10. Then combine the like terms, so x squared minus 3x minus 10. Again, like I said, not all of you will end up using this method. It's just one of the ways to do this particular problem. The same thing in B. I'm going to distribute this 4y minus 3. So I have 2y times 4y minus 3. That's right here. Then I'm going to write down the plus 3. And then the 4y minus 3 again. Then distribute the 2y. So I have 2y times 4y is 8y squared. Try to do as much of this mentally as you can, please. 2y times a negative 3, negative 6y. Distribute this 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 12y. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Combine the like terms. And what is negative 6y plus 12y? Just 6y. So my final answer is 8y squared minus 6y. Sorry, is that plus 6y minus 9? Alright, there we go. And like I said, I have a feeling that most of you won't really ever use this method ever again in your life. It's not that you won't do these problems ever again necessarily, but most of you won't use this particular method because you'll find another way that makes sense for you. Alright, so let's distribute again. 5a minus 2b times the a. Then I have minus 4b times the 5a minus 2b. Distribute the a. So I have 5a squared. This one might be a little bit tricky for you. A times minus 2a, or minus 2b here. I'm going to write it as minus 2ab. I'm just going to write it in alphabetical order. So instead of saying minus 2ba, I'm going to write minus 2ab, so that it's always in alphabetical order. So the same thing here. I'm going to write minus 20ab instead of minus 20ba. And then I have minus 4b times minus 2b. That's going to be a positive 8b squared. Here are my two like terms to combine in the middle again. So minus 2ab minus 20ab is minus 22ab. And then plus 8b squared. Kaboom! I mean, like I said, I know that I'm enjoying all of this more than all of you are, but I have wonderful news. I think that you might enjoy the next thing as much as I am enjoying this. So, example 4, multiply using the FOIL method. I'm not going to make you read the FOIL method. I know that most of you probably have heard of this because somebody's told you about it. I mean, in all of my time growing up, FOIL was to put on baked chicken, but here I am telling you about it anyway. Alright, so I'm going to take this 2c and distribute it to the c and the minus 3. Now, by the way, if you remember what I did before, I distributed the whole first binomial over. Now I'm just going to do the 2c and then I'm going to do the plus 5 separately. So I'm still going to get the same answer. I don't want you to think that this is a different way of doing this. This is just a way for you to try to remember to do all of the steps. That's all. Alright. So I have 2c times c minus 3 then plus 5 times c minus 3. This is really the same thing if you think about it. Alright, so now I distribute the 2c, that's 2c squared minus 6c, distribute the 5 plus 5c minus 15, combine the like terms, 2c squared plus, sorry, that's going to be a minus c minus 15. That's it. Alright, let's try again. I need to distribute the 8 to both of these, and then I need to distribute the minus 4x to both of these. So I have the 8 times the 3 minus 2x, which I'm going to get 24 minus 16x. Then the minus 4x times 3 minus 2x, so I'm going to get minus 12x plus 8x squared. Again, if you don't write this exactly the same way as I do, that's fine. Just make sure that whatever method you're using, you get the same final answer here once you combine the like terms. So everyone, no matter how they multiply these binomials, should end up with 24 minus 28x plus 8x squared on this problem. And again, we probably do want to write this in descending order. So I'm going to write it as 8x squared minus 28x plus 24. Kaboom! Alright, let's look on to C here. Where did C go? I have no idea where C went. Alright, here we go. 3x plus 2 times 3x minus 2. Distribute the 3x. So 3x times 3x minus 2 will give me 9x squared minus 6x. Then I have the plus 2 times the 3x minus 2. That is 6x minus 4. Combine the like terms in the middle. They actually cancel out in this case. Cha-ching, right? I mean, we're making progress here. And we end up with 9x squared minus 4. Alright, so, again, there's more than one way to look at these types of problems. Some of you may have used a box, that type of thing. That's about it. Alright, so let's look at... I don't know why I keep on scrolling by it. The struggle is real for me. Topic 5. Multiply binomials using special formulas for special products. So we have an a plus b times an a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So what that is saying is that if this right here is the same as this right here, and this right here is the same as this right here, but the only thing that is different is one of these is plus and one of these is minus, then you can apply this formula. So I don't want to make that large. I don't know what this is, why that's so large. Okay, So that will just be the first thing squared minus the second thing squared, or in this case 6x squared minus 5 squared. You need to remember to square both the 6 and the x. So this will be 6x squared minus 25. Alright, so just a shortcut. If this is the same as this is the same as this, and one of them is plus and one of them is minus. Just a shortcut. Alright, so let's look at the next couple of formulas. You see a couple more formulas there. Again, these aren't necessarily the formulas that you really need to remember, but I will write them on the screen again. Alright, so if you have 5c minus 9 times 5c minus 9, it's actually 5c minus 9 squared. And the formula said if you had a minus b all squared, that is going to be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And that's sort of what you had here. Alright, so the 5c would be like the a, and the 9 would be like the b, and there is a minus in between. So what I actually end up with is this lovely use of the formula. What was ever first is squared, so the 5c squared, then minus 2 times both of these multiplied together, in this case the 5c and the 9 multiplied together, and then what's at the end squared, so the 9 squared. Remember to square the 5 and the c, so 25c squared, then 2 times 5 is 10, times 9 is actually 90, so minus 90c, and then 9 squared is 81. Cha-ching! I know that most of you won't use this method. Most of you will still do this one using the FOIL method. But the reason why I show this to you is so that in E, you don't get confused and accidentally mess up, because you're not going to distribute that exponent. What you actually are going to do is use the formula. So this is 3p and this is 2q, and they have a minus between them. So you have to write it out so that you don't mess up. Alright, so I hope that all of you see that this is actually 3p minus 2q times 3p minus 2q. And so if I apply the formula, it's 3p squared minus 2 times 3p times 2q, and then plus a 2q squared. Then square the 3p. Remember, you have to square the 3 and the p, so 9p squared. Then what do we have here? 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12, so minus 12pq. And again, I'm going to write those in alphabetical order. Then square the 2 to get 4, and square the q to get q squared, and kaboom! The struggle is no longer real for us. And there are so many ways to multiply these together, I know that. I mean, there are so many ways to make chocolate chip cookies too. So you just always come up with whatever is easiest or the best recipe for you. Now, let's look at multiplying any two polynomials. So here we have multiply 4w plus 3 times 2w squared minus w minus 6. So when you multiply any two polynomials, you're going to start by multiplying the 4w times every term here, and then you're going to multiply the 3 times every term here, and just make sure that you combine like terms after. So this will be 4w times the 2w squared minus w minus 6. Distribute the 4w to get 8w to the third minus 4w squared minus 24w. I know this is a lot. I just try to keep track of all the exponents, alright? Plus 3 times 2w squared minus w minus 6. So 3 times 2w squared is actually 6w squared. 3 times minus w is minus 3w. And 3 times minus 6 is minus 18. You can see that I thought that the column method for adding these might be a little bit easier here. At least it was for me. And my final answer is 8w to the third plus 2w squared minus 27w minus 18. So just make sure again that you use a combination of whatever methods are most comfortable for you or what might be most appropriate for solving a particular problem. Alright, B. Same thing. We're going to distribute the x to the third. So I have 2x to the second minus 11 times x to the third. And then distribute the 5x squared. Then distribute the minus 4x. Then distribute the minus 7. There's a lot here. Alright, so what do we have? 2x to the fifth, because we're adding the exponent. 3 plus 2 is 5, minus 11x to the third, plus 10x to the fourth, minus 55x squared, minus 8x to the third, plus 44x, minus 14x squared, and then, let's see, plus 77. So are there any like terms here? Well, I have 2x to the fifth, then 10x to the fourth. Let's see, here is a minus 11x to the third, and a minus 8x to the third, so minus 19x to the third. And then I have a 55x squared minus a 14x squared. That is minus 69x squared. And then I have a, let's see, a 44x, so plus 44x, and then plus a 77 at the end. Cha-ching. It is all real all the time. Alright, so let's see what else is coming up. Well, I guess it looks like there's nothing else coming up in this section except for some chances for you to try all of these exciting problems. So that looks like it's all done for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.